Seneca?
Yeah.
As I was coming out of the OR, I realized that I really hadn't taken the opportunity to thank you properly for giving me a new start.
Forget it, Roger.
Look, I realize you're probably still reacting to the unusual circumstances that helped reinstate me.
Roger.
But I think in time that you won't be sorry that you acted as you did.
I won't be sorry.
Well, look, Seneca, I think I find myself proving that I'm worthy of your trust.
I trust.
I've been in the OR since 10 o'clock this morning with 2 very difficult operations. Both the patients are doing just great, so if anybody doubted my ability, I think I proved myself.
Nobody ever doubted your competence as a surgeon, Roger, but just don't kid yourself if that's the reason you're back on staff.
Look, I'd like to think it's the reason, but I do know there were other persuasive factors.
You may call it persuasion, but I think coercion would be more accurate.
I simply stated that Frank Ryan could be the father of Julian's baby. And the fact that you reinstated me helps support that theory.
Roger, if you're through thanking me, I'd really like to get back to work now.
Look, Seneca, it seems like I'm starting out on the wrong foot all over again. But that's not what I want to do. I understand that you might be upset that I'm exerting certain pressures, but I think in time you'll agree that in this case, the end does justify the means. I want you to know that I'm doing everything in my power to, well, to be a credit to you and to your apartment.
I wonder if I ought to point something out to you.
Oh, what's that?
I am not your father.
Oh, no, wait, I don't understand.
I know your relationship with Ed Coleridge was very complex. He admired you as a surgeon, but he was less than enchanted with your character. In that respect, I must admit that his response and mine are similar.
Oh, wait a minute, now, I don't quite understand.
Well, when your father was head of this department, I was close enough to observe your constant need for his approval. I just hate to think you were getting the 2 of us mixed up.
That is simply not true. My father is dead, and you, Dr. Bolak, are head of this department. Of course, I sincerely do want your approval after some period of time.
Well, I suggest you set your sights elsewhere. You may have been able to force my hand as far as your job is concerned, Roger, but my personal approval is not subject to blackmail.
Same old rigid Seneca. I'm afraid that someday you're just going to have to learn to bend a little. But I'm not going to let you destroy the satisfaction of a good day's work, and I'm certainly not going to let you ruin my evening. You see, Doctor, whether you appreciate me or not, one of my former patients is so grateful that he's giving me a party tonight.
Eliminate. Tell you what.
If you don't fancy the stew, I can get you something else.
No, thank you. This is fine. I'm just not in the mood to eat right now.
Tell you what. Kevin, would you be so kind as to get the lady a cup of Maeve's special Irish coffee? May not cure what ails you, but it'll certainly look to the good that's in it.
We'll have to do some trick. You know, this is a very nice place. It's cheerful.
Yeah, especially today. The daughter of the household had a baby last night.
Oh, the sign on the board, it's a girl?
Yeah.
That's very nice. I like that.
A little girl to Johnny and Maeve's daughter, Mary. Have you met her?
No, I don't think so. I've never been here before.
But if you'd met Mary Ryan, you'd know it.
Pretty girl.
Oh, pretty and smart and a lot of spirit. And unfortunately, not very happy at the moment.
When she just had a baby? How come?
She's married to a newspaper man, Jack Finelli. Finelli's a great guy, but he's got a problem. He doesn't like babies at all. Oh, do you know, if I had heard someone else say that, I would have raked him over the coals for running a rumor mill? Oh,
Now,
Claire.
I know you didn't mean it that way.
Good. We better get down to business.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Kevin. Let's take a look at your situation and see what we can do.
What can I do? Mrs. House is probably going to press charges. I'm going to lose my job. And where is the suspected thief going to find another job? Look, if it was only me, I could get along. But my brother Angel, he's 12 years old, and all he's got is me. And I have to take care of both of us.
Whoa. Just whoa, wait a minute. I think you're anticipating a lot of trouble that may never happen. Now, when we get back to the hospital, Mrs. House will have cooled off. I'm going to have a little chat with her. I'm going to put on a little charm, and I can be very persuasive, very. And when I get through, I would be surprised if Mrs. House is going to want to press charges at all.
I don't know how you're going to talk her out of it. And I don't know how I'm going to prove that it wasn't her money in my purse.
Well, I think it's perfectly clear to me that you wouldn't have turned that purse over so quickly had you known that the money was in there.
But where did it come from? You know my pay was taken. I didn't have any money. Now, how did $100 just jump into my purse? Look, for all I know, it could be Mrs. House's money. If I didn't think it was crazy, I would think that someone is trying to put a frame around me.
Somebody's trying to frame you, huh? Do you know anyone who would want to do that?
No. Who am I to have that kind of an enemy? I mean, the whole thing is crazy. And what that's up to is that I'm in trouble and I don't know how to do to get out of it.
Okay. Now, the first thing that you've got to do is just relax. Now, no one in the department thinks that you took that money. And you got to believe me, because I'm your boss, right? Believe me, this whole thing's going to work itself out.
Hey, Kevin, you know where little John is. I went upstairs. Nobody is up there.
Well, Maeve has gone off to visit Mary, and Johnny took the little lad off for a subway ride, his latest diversion, you know? Woo-hoo.
Well, I don't think he likes subways at all. I don't know if I would have let him go. Besides, I wanted to see him. Kevin, could I have a ginger ale? Diet? Welcome.
One of them, Dr. Patrick Ryan, this is his newly wedded wife, Delia Reed Ryan. Delia Reed Ryan, I'd like you to meet Miss Alicia Nieves. Oh, whoa, easy, oh. Did you go down the wrong pipe? Oh, goodness.
No, I'm all right.
Edmund says you have to make a wish.
Certainly, I would be glad to. Here we go.
Oh, good.
Now, I know that you're not supposed to tell your wishes, but...
Oh, that's birthday wishes. I don't think those rules apply to other occasion cakes.
Right.
Good. So I would like to share my wish with you. First, for my nephew, Edmund.
Yay.
Strong Coleridge, I wish a long and charming life.
Yay.
And for my two beautiful and brilliant sisters, may all their dreams come true. And for me, I just wish things keep going along as well as they are.
Oh, wait a minute. That is not a wish. That's a public address.
Oh, well, in any case, I mean it. I just want to thank you for this lovely little party. It meant a lot to me. Okay, here we go.
Listen, don't thank me. It was not my idea. It was all Edmund's idea.
A truly remarkable child. And to think how he managed to fit all that writing on the top of one cake.
Oh, very, very carefully.
Well, it looks like another pair of gifted hands, which means it could possibly be a third-generation Coleridge surgeon.
Only if he wants to. Suppose he decides to depart from tradition and go into, pediatrics.
Oh, horrors!
Hey, listen, wait a minute, you two. The best background for him is law, especially if he's going to be president.
Now, look, I think that we can settle this whole thing very easily. Why don't we count his buttons, like we used to? Huh?
Okay, wait a minute. He doesn't have buttons. He has snappers. Will they do?
Oh, sure,
Okay.
sure, okay.
Where are your snappers? There they are.
Here we go. Rich man, poor man. Beggar man, thief. Doctor.
Yay!
Lawyer.
Bravo!
Indian chief.
Edmund, you crossed us all up. I mean, you're going to take after your daddy's relatives?
Listen, I can't say that I blame him. I bet if his father had it to do all over again, he would have much rather been a Seneca chief than chief of neurology, especially the way things are going these days.
Well, I have to agree with you. Things certainly are more frantic around there than they were last year.
Well, they're bound to be. I mean, the staff's been cut 25% in some of the departments.
Which means 25% more work for the rest of us. Truthfully, I'm scared. I don't know how much longer we can keep up any kind of responsible medicine.
You really think it's that bad?
Well, Jack's article may have been an embarrassment to the hospital, but it was no exaggeration. You know, there's talk of reviving the House Association, and I'm not so sure that's a bad idea.
Oh, no, well, I am, because I believe the doctors shouldn't have any association with unions.
Here, I have to agree as far as the House Association is concerned.
Yeah, what kind of organization? They can't even organize a Christmas party, much less help people with jobs.
Okay, so they're not much, but it's all we have. The staff needs some kind of representation.
Yeah, but the best thing to do is take the individual problems directly to the association.
But we all have the same problem. We're overworked to the point of incompetence, and there's no relief in sight. Everyone's walking around in a daze.
I have to agree. I saw Pat Ryan stumbling through the department today. He looked as if he should be admitted.
Well, I guess we all know that Pat has a few more problems than the rest of us these days.
Well, I don't see Delia as a problem. I mean, it's just bad timing. If she had managed to have the miscarriage before they were married, who knows what would have happened.
I know. He would have found another excuse to marry her. Believe me, there's one thing I've come to understand in these last few weeks. It's that Pat Ryan needs Delia Reed Ryan.
And Delia needs Pat.
And Frank Ryan needs, I don't know, but I certainly can't give it to him.
Well, I think that what we need is a little more champagne.
Yay! Here, terrific. Hey, ooh, we got a visitor. Woo, let's see who's there. Woo! Who's at the door? 1, 2, 3. Boom!
Hi. I thought I might spend a few minutes with... Excuse me, am I interrupting something?
No, not at all. Edmund is giving his Uncle Roger a party. Come and join us.
Some popcorn just went down the wrong way.
Maybe you better sit down, okay?
Dr. Moultrie.
Yo, Kevin.
For you?
Excuse me, lady. Excuse me.
Alicia, you promised you wouldn't tell anyone.
Please relax. I'm not going to say anything to anybody, especially when you ask me not to.
Okay, I believe you. If my husband finds out I lost this baby before I got married to him, he's never going to understand.
I wish you would not worry, okay? One thing we are taught to know is that the patient's history is confidential. You're not going to hear me say anything about Mrs. Brown or Mrs. Ryan, okay?
Okay, thank you. I wish there was some way I could pay you back.
That was quick.
Yeah, well, they just had to phone me over here to let me know that I'm due back on the front line. How about that? Yes, a doctor's life is never dull, is it? Delia, would you do me a favor? Would you put on one of those sparkling, dazzling smiles of yours and cheer this lovely lady up? She's got a little bit of a problem. Thank you. Look,
Bye-bye. Thank you very much.
See you.
Okay.
Kevin,
Problem,
Right, doctor.
what kind of problem? Can I do anything for you?
Oh, that's very nice, but I don't think there's anything that can be done. I've been accused of stealing some money.
What? Oh, that's terrible.
Somebody on the floor where I work has been stealing money, right? Well, you know the hospital the way it is now with all the cutbacks. There's not enough people to watch, and they've cut back on some of the security personnel.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. My husband works terrible hours, and oh, look, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Just
Well,
go on.
I lost some money, you know. My whole paycheck was taken. And what's worse is that Mrs. House, a patient I was taking care of, well, I was taking her to neurology, and she missed some money in her wallet. $100, she said.
Well, Alicia, don't they take valuables? They put them in a safe, don't they?
I don't know. They usually do that, but maybe she hid the money, or maybe somebody just slipped, you know, up. I don't know the way things are happening in the hospital right now. But the thing is that when she missed the money, she said that I was the one who must have taken it.
Oh, that's crazy. I mean, she can't do that. That's illegal. You know what that's called? That's called libel. And I know that because I used to be married to a lawyer.
Well, the worst part of it is that she said they should look in my purse, right? So I handed my purse right over. And there they find $100. I don't know where it came from.
Well, you didn't have the $100. Somebody must have put it there.
I guess so. I just wish they would find the person who stole Mrs. House's money. I mean, if I lose my job, what am I going to do? Work is so hard to come by.
Alicia, don't worry about it. You're not going to lose your job. And if you do, you're very good. You're terrific. You were wonderful with me when I had the miscarriage. Don't worry. You'll get another job.
If they think I'm a thief?
Okay, well, what you've got to do is, you just got to prove you're innocent, right? That's all.
So how?
How? Oh, I got a great idea. You know, my brother's a detective.
A detective? A private detective?
No. He's a police detective, and all I have to do is say to him that you're a friend of mine and that I believe in you, and he'll trust me. He always trusts me. You want me to call him?
Do you think he could really help?
Oh, I know he can help. I'm sure he can help. I'll just call him. He helps everybody around here.
Okay.
Alicia, can I get you anything?
No, this is fine.
No, maybe I could heat it up for you. You know, I'm part of the family, so I can use the kitchen.
No, thank you.
Well, Alicia, you gotta eat.
Okay, I'll eat it just like this. Thank you.
Well, how about if I get you some tea? How's that?
That's very nice. Thank you.
Okay.
Sheila. I mean, Delia.
So Roger counted his snappers, and it turned out Indian chief. How do you like that?
You could do worse.
Well, I hate to leave such a nice party, but I gotta be on duty in a couple of hours, and I need a nap.
Well, I think I'll go right along with you. I've got to be up bright and early tomorrow.
Oh, they have already worked you hard enough as it is. Do you know that Roger performed 2 brilliant pieces of surgery today?
Yeah, I heard that.
Well, look, honey, it was wonderful. Thank you.
Yes.
Thanks, dear. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, take care.
Bye-bye.
I'm so glad you could come. Bye, Edmund. Bye, Seneca.
Good night.
Good night. So, can I offer you a piece of Roger's cake? It's delicious.
No, thank you.
You want me to take him from you?
Are you kidding? Is she kidding? Hey, I got some plans I've been meaning to discuss with you, sport. I haven't had a chance to check it out with your mother yet, but I'm sure that she won't refuse. See, one thing you gotta understand. Your mother is a city girl. No, listen, I think that's fine. That means you're gonna have the best of both worlds. Oh, your mother can show you all the good things there are in the city. The skyscrapers and, let's see, the museums, the concert halls, subways, huh? Ferry boats. I tell you, a kid can have a terrific time in the city. But you and I, we got something altogether different to do. Every year, we're going to take a trip together up to French Canada. Yeah. And we're going to see Grandma, because she's going to think you're terrific. And I'm going to show you the mill that Grandpa used to run. And then, you and I, we are going to go into the woods, and we're going to go hiking. And we're going to go swimming and fishing in lakes that are so clear you can see all the way down to the bottom, huh? I guess for the first few years, we better bring a tent along. Huh? But after that, we'll just put a pack on our backs, and we're going to sleep right out there in the open. And we'll sit around, and we'll talk. Oh, it's very soft. It's a pine wood, see? It's very, very soft, just like a pillow. And we'll talk about just about anything we want to talk about. And I'll answer your questions, as many as I can. What's that? Can Mommy come? Well, listen, I guess she can come sometimes if she wants to. Listen, right now, I think you better get to sleep, Buster. Come on.
Let me kiss him goodnight. Oh, don't forget to turn on the mobile.
You know he's asleep? He is asleep already? He dropped right off?
Oh, you charmed him to sleep.
Well, I think he kind of likes me a little bit.
Likes you? He lights up when you come into the room.
You may be imagining that, but, boy, I'd sure like it if it was so. That's how I felt about my dad.
Really?
Oh, yeah, he was an extraordinary man. Didn't I ever tell you about my father?
Oh, just a little.
He gave me so much. He shared everything he loved with me, and he taught me to love it too. I mean, it was more than just the pleasure of hunting and fishing and camping. It was like, well, by sharing all that, he let me know that I was okay. It was very clear to me that he liked me and that he enjoyed my company, even if he didn't always enjoy my behavior. Now, he liked me, and I knew it. That's what I'd like to give to Edmund.
Well, that's a wonderful and invaluable gift. I think my father loved me. At least it makes sense. He brought me all the way from Australia to give me a home. But, you know, when I was growing up, I never really felt like he liked me.
Well, what happened?
Well, I know now that there was trouble between my mother and him. He kept spending less and less time at home and more time at the hospital. Oh, I was frantic. I was desperate for his approval. And Roger was small and Faith was just a baby. And things were so tense at home. And I think Dad realized that things were going badly, and he tried, but the more he tried, the worse things got. They seemed unnatural, somehow. I think that's what I loved most about seeing you with Edmund. You were giving him just what he needed, and so naturally, with no effort at all.
It's no effort to love you, son. Or you.
Oh, you're never gonna learn to quit when you're ahead, will you?
No.
July 4th, MVP Power Play Marathon. 3 back-to-back episodes. Catch it from the beginning. MVP Power Play Marathon. Friday morning, July 4th, starting at 11.